This isn't your parents' brew of choice or even your grandparents' suds.
Yeah, the craft beer industry in Maryland has become big business. And today, Comptroller Peter Franchot is calling on lawmakers to free up the taps for more sales. ABC 2 News' Jeff Hager joins us now with more on that story tonight. Jeff, what'd you find out?
Well, Kelly, last year the craft beer industry supported or created more than 6,500 jobs right here in Maryland. Yet it did so in a state where the brewers face limits at virtually every turn. It's not for lack of effort. Here at the Union Craft Brewery in Woodbury, workers fill 40 cans per minute and 1,000 barrels of beer per month. Yet owner and founder Adam Benesh says this facility and others like it here in Maryland are falling behind their competitors every day.
Currently, less than 1 in 10 beers consumed in Maryland was produced in Maryland, which ranks us towards the bottom in the country in this regard.
At a time when manufacturing jobs are tough to come by, Comptroller Peter Franchot says it's time to tap into the craft beer craze, and he's pushing what's called the Reform on Tap Act of 2018 to remove a dozen or more limits on local breweries that leave their glasses half full.
We know that Virginia is trying to lure our brewers to the Commonwealth. We know of breweries that have decided not to open in Maryland at all. And of course, most recently, Flying Dog Brewery up in Senator Young's district in Frederick canceled their $54 million expansion due to Maryland's anti-craft beer laws.
Limits on how much beer can be produced, sold, and distributed, along with mandated franchises, have had a chilling effect on businesses here, and a bill which opened the door for Guinness to come here last year all but closed the door on locals to grow.
It's a little bit like the medieval guild during the Middle Ages, where there was a monopoly and the incumbents wouldn't let anybody else in. That's what we have in Maryland right now.
Proponents of the reforms are trying to convince powerful retailers and distributors that bigger local brewers would produce bigger payouts for them as well. But many fear convincing Maryland lawmakers to reverse course on the year-old restrictions will be a tough sell.
They don't know. They were just told it was a good thing, and they all voted for it. So you have got to get to your delegates and senators.
Right now, as an example of the current restrictions, if a craft brewery wants to sell more of its own beer on site than it's permitted, it must first transport it to a distributor and then buy it back at a higher price and then have it trucked back to that tap room, all to conform with Maryland law.